cool. Yeah, I didn't really have a plan for this. I just feel like we needed to do it. What did you just do, Brian?
I turned off the anchor alarm
Before
we got into the dinghy. I still would have put my pants on one leg at a time today if I wasn't still wearing the pants from yesterday.
Thanks for tuning in.
For those who are just joining us, we're a pretty average couple who decided to make travel and adventure a way of life.
A couple of years ago, we took the next step and made a boat our home so we could bring our creatures and comforts along for the ride.
Together we sail the seas, trek the globe, or even just take a drive, as long as it's somewhere new. We ducked out of the last video as we were leaving Isla Morada. So, as a master storyteller, I know that that is the perfect place to pick back up again in this video. See how that works? We motored out of the bay, and that day the wind was coming from just the right direction, so even though we had to go in kind of a very specific direction, we were able to quickly raise sails and make a proper day of it. And every minute that we headed south, the water just got bluer and bluer until it almost hurt your eyes to look at.
You guys, seriously, this water. Are you kidding me? Tighten up your core. Brian Parson.
We had Bloody Marys for breakfast.
We are on our way to Marathon now. So we have really enjoyed taking our time, kind of working our way down the Keys so far, but Marathon is kind of a milestone in the sailing world when you're going through the Keys. It's a big town, it's boater friendly, and it's where pretty much everybody stops. So we are on our way there right now.
We caught a lobster trap.
Oh yeah, we're sailing along. Wind is phenomenal right now. It's about 20 miles an hour, and we are just screaming along and averaging around 7 knots, which for a sailboat is screaming along. But Bryant is on his perch and notices something amiss at the back of the boat. Come to find out, we had speared the styrofoam ball of one of the 100 billion, million, cajillion lobster traps that are littering the well, I mean, what do you call this here? Bay. Yeah, we didn't have engines on, thankfully, so we didn't actually snag the tether and get that wrapped around the prop. But we are going fast enough that it literally just speared itself onto the fin of our prop. So had a bit of a harrowing couple of minutes where we had to turn the boat into the wind. I mean, we had about a 30-second window before the wind pushed us back around again because we couldn't turn the props on. So we had no control. We just had to turn it into the wind. And Bryant jumped into the water and disentangled us from the lobster trap as the wind was pushing us back under power. And he leapt out again.
Let me know when we're pretty much stopped.
It was very harrowing. I was harrowed. But other than that, it's been a beautiful day. What else?
I had shrimp and grits for breakfast, and if you know me at all, you know that that is about as far out of character for me as I can get. I hate grits. I think they're disgusting. But today it sounded good, and the shrimp and grits at Lorelei's breakfast were very good.
There you have it, folks. Speaking of nerves, I woke up this morning and for whatever reason I was just like highly on edge, and I don't really know why. Today, like the whole sailing and moving and all of the working parts has just been kind of a little bit stressful for me. It's been a perfectly good day sailing, except for the lobster trap. No real reason for my fears today. So that's another thing that we're learning, or that at least I'm learning. There are so many moving parts to sailing. There's so many things to consider, and sometimes if you've got other processes going on in the back of your mind and you're just like not kind of in the moment, then all of those things can kind of build up and manifest as just like straight nerves. And so when we were like pulling up anchor today, I just had to tell Bryant, well, he asked, but just honestly communicated like, look, I don't know why, but I'm just like absolutely jittery today, and this is all a little overwhelming. And so he was just like, okay, thanks for like being honest, telling me, like, I know what I have to do now. I know that this is going to be mostly me sailing day. And so that's an important lesson to learn, I think, especially if you're a couple that is trying to do boat life, because you're already in tight quarters. The extra level of just bare communication, where even if you haven't quite figured out what is going on with you, to just like talk through the process with your sailing partner, just so that like everybody's on the same page. That has helped me quite a bit today, and it helps him just kind of like get a gauge on how things are going to go. It's a beautiful day and you're sailing and you're just like all over the place and you don't know why. You're not alone.
Our ultimate destination in Marathon was Boot Key Harbor, but it's on the south side of Highway 1, which meant that we had to go underneath a bridge in order to get there. 7-mile bridge to be precise. But the actual channel to get underneath the bridge is way over here, which meant that we would have to overshoot Marathon, go under the bridge, and then backtrack quite a bit, which would add a lot of time onto the trip. We didn't really have time to do that today, so we had to call it an early day and tuck in here, where we could wait out a pretty gusty storm that was coming in from the south.
What you doing, Bill? Drugs, a hell of a thing.
But for now, we still had the rest of this very beautiful day to do with as we pleased. For Bryant, first on the list was repairing the depth gauge that had been flopping around on the back of the boat.
1.5 feet?
That's not accurate.
And giving us heart attack-inducing readings all day long.
When we first arrived here, there were about 3 other boats in the anchorage.
Jeff with the margaritas.
This guy was on one of them. This is Jeff. Jeff rocked up with a pitcher of margaritas to welcome us, and in true boater fashion, we ended up trading a second pitcher of margaritas for an old prop that we didn't need anymore, but he desperately needed. After that, we decided we would go and stimulate the local economy and visit something besides bus stops.
Filming you. Look your dashingest.
A smolder.
Oh, awkward. I like it in here.
Like this at all?
Yeah.
No, no. How's it
How's it
going?
going? Getting tacos.
That's alright, I like tacos.
Do 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 do.
I need 4 fish tacos, a chicken tender basket with barbecue, and a tamarind burrito.
Delicious. I was just
thought that the trees were cool. They're probably not cool. It's cool. We are cool.
Totes.
Ain't nobody nor never even.
Ain't nope. Ain't nobody nor never even seen nothing so cool.
Pipes cut off. Got quite the little group.
Even though we were only one of about 3 boats when we got here, by the next morning, the anchorage had really filled out. That's usually a good sign that you're in a good spot to weather out a storm. The storm was mostly just wind. We didn't get much rain or anything like that out of it. It cleared kind of by early afternoon, so we settled into a rather good evening and then made preparations to sail around to actual Boot Key Harbor in the morning.
The trip around the end of Marathon, under the bridge, and into Boot Key Harbor, it was short and it was a beautiful day. But after all of the winds the night before, it was a little bouncy, so we were both pretty happy to pull into the harbor. Because most of Highway 1 through the Keys is at ground level, and there aren't many big bridges for us with our tall masts to get under, we had been committed to staying on the bay side throughout our trip so far in the Keys. But now we had our chance to make it out to the ocean side, where the water would be even bluer, even clearer, and we would have easy access to sail out to the reefs and do some proper ocean living. Yeah, me too. Can't do it while I'm on this boat right now, though. Yeah, it's tight in here. This is the place to be. I don't like being in the places to be, Bryant. Okay. Oh, George.